Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Carlson LS703LH Blue Black Oxide Spring-Loaded Lift Mechanism, back-mounted and left-hand and blue, one each. So this is a lifting mechanism. There are three different types from Carlson. There is the back-mounted, there's the sidewall mounted, then there's one that we hardly ever sell, and I may only have sold one in many years, if not decades. That mounts to the back rear side of the unit itself. So the two that are common are when you open the lid, they're either mounted to the back, both units, the unit would be mounted to the back rear wall and then to the lid. The other style is mounted to the lid and then to the side wall. Well, the 703 is the backside mounted. As a result of that, and obviously the sidewall mounting, they're handed. Now, when it comes to the rear mount, you can use lefts or rights or one of each if you want them to look symmetrical. I think the factory's opinion that, you can put a left on the left side and a left on the right side. But if it was me, I would want one of each. And the difference is where when you face the unit, when you're looking at it and you lift the lid, the left is mounted on the left. It's that simple. And this would be that case because those mounting points go towards the center of the unit. And my right-hand unit would be here. I happen to have a right hand on my desk. This client has indeed bought 6 of each. So this is the right hand unit, and it would literally look like that, where your mounting points go towards the center. Okay? That's the right hand unit. Put that back. Now, dissecting the part number further, so the 703 is the rear mounted. The left hand is the hand, obviously. The blue is the rating of the spring, and the spring actually has a sprayed color on it, and they have maybe 7 different springs, and what changes is the compression rate, obviously, and therefore the amount of weight that the unit can handle. Okay, and then BO is black oxide. These are available in either a statutory bronze or this black oxide color. Black oxide is admittedly far less common than statutory bronze, but I think it's just because, in my experience, the manufacturer produces statutory bronze as the standard. They can also do black oxide, but that's something that people generally, I think, aren't as aware of being available. So these are handed in the sense that you do order them left and right, and it's called the self-balancing lid closure. Let's just simply switch to the screen view where we can take a look at the supporting documentation. Okay, so what we are indeed looking at here is our description. Self-balancing lid, 703 rights and lefts, back-mounted, keeps heavy lids from slamming shut, holds lid open in any position, available in either stat bronze or black oxide, features a solid brass slide enclosure, cover brackets riveted to cam, high-quality springs, available in different tensions, which is the spring color for different lid sizes. Screws are not included. I'm going to think maybe a number 6 by half pan head might be a good idea for these. I would start with a 6, and then whatever length, ½ inch might be appropriate, maybe 5/8, if you're going into 3/4 inch material. Overall length is 6 inch. Base material is steel, except, of course, the brass slide cap that's on the end of the spring. That brass being a kind of a self-lubricating material in that sense, it slides easier on the inside of the steel. Sold as each. Now, here's the bottom line. Is the blue the one you want? And here's what we're driving at. The rating in pounds is 35 to 40. Inch torque rating equal lid height in inch multiplied by the lid weight in pounds divided by 2. So we have created a formula here for determining that. And you can use this, and it will tell you what spring color you would need. So feel free to play around with this calculator. We're going to go right to the assembly of 700 series. And this is going to give you a dimensional review of what it looks like when it's installed. This happens to be the sidewall mount, the 702 series. Our 703 is down below, which is the rear side, which is the rear mount. So they say that it's 6 inch overall length. That could be. And indeed it is. Definitely 6-inch. And yeah, that makes perfect sense. So we'll touch on the dimensional properties when we switch back to the screen, to the camera view. What I was driving at was the size of the spring that you might use for your application. Okay, so they go from gray, 8 different springs, gray to white. Blue is a much on the lighter side. To find inch pounds, which is what this is rated in or listed in, multiply half the distance from front to back times the weight of the lid. So let's do that. Let's say that your lid depth is 18-inch. So multiply half the distance of the front to back, which would be 9, times the weight of the lid. Let's say that that is 8 pounds. So 9 times 8, you've got, you know, your you have your weight there in inch pounds, okay, which allows you to then look at the chart and determine exactly what spring size you need. So 9 times 8, 72. You know you're looking at yellow, okay? So let's look at our same 18-inch deep, but let's now say that it's 4 pounds. So 9 times 4, obviously going to be 36. You can see that you're working on a green. So the lid that this client has must be rather light or rather small, but a combination of both, because you really need something that would be like a 3-pound lid that might be, you know, 24 inches deep. So 12 times 3 would put you at 36. And it's going to be right in that range for the blue. Okay, so let's say 24 and then 3 pounds. Let's try our calculator. Okay, so there you go. 24. And indeed, your blue spring color comes up. You can click on this for the options. Gives you the answer to the formula, and then gives you the note. Okay, so it's easy. How deep is it? Multiply that by 0.5, then multiply that by the weight of the lid, and that will tell you what you're dealing with. This is what a, since we're on this page again, these are images from the factory, literally showing the 703 left and the 703 right, and I believe that those are in black finish. Yeah, they certainly are. So back to our document that we're looking at. Now we've talked about how to establish what spring color. You literally are going to look at that same part number that we're looking at here, LS703, lefts or rights, blue spring color, or whatever spring color, and then either black oxide or statutory bronze. And this horizontal navigation here would allow you to filter to those areas. So we've gone over the springs. I've shown you what it looks like dimensionally. This is far more information regarding what it looks like isometrically as it goes through its open and closing cycle. So very handy to see what this unit does and what it looks like as it articulates from open to closed and back. Okay, and they are literally showing a left-hand unit here. Obviously a 702 on this side, and here's your 703. So I'm not going to touch on detailing, you know, confirming all of the dimensional properties here, because they're listed. There is also the, what did we look at here? Okay, mounting drawings. This refers to those 3 styles that I talked about earlier. Sidewall mounted 702, rear wall mounted 703, and then that rear mounted 900. Again, very uncommon. I think I've sold one of those. Don't know why, other than I just think it's probably not ideal when you have an application that you can otherwise conceal the hardware. However, you might have an application where the hardware cannot go inside of the unit because you might be very compressed for space. We have very recently supplied material, this material, and a variety of them, to a client who was building dust-proof type of enclosures for computer equipment. And they could not suffer the loss of internal real estate to the spring, so they literally went with the exterior material. And it worked out just fine for the client. They haven't resolved on the right spring rate yet, but that's a work in progress. Okay, let's switch back to the screen view and finish up this video. But first, the link here to the manufacturer's page that will allow you to review not only all of the Carlson products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a video from the factory showing how that works. So really nice, handy, and helpful. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, in conclusion, a very typical and common piece of equipment here, in the sense that your woodworking industry, people who are building some sort of custom woodwork, a footlocker, a children's storage facility at the end of their bed. Lots of kids have those. Lots of people have those, period. That was the brass slide enclosure, and because this is a blue spring, I can actually move that. The stiffer ones I would not be able to cycle. Okay, so it just shows you how that works. Okay. Nice quality people. They are in a northwestern suburb of Chicago by the name of Rockford, not a small town at all. But you pick the phone up and call them, and you leave a voicemail, and they're always leaving voicemails there. I find that an email is a really quick way to get a response from them generally, and I thank them. They have from what I can tell, a very petite footprint of material that they make. But this is a very valuable piece of equipment in the woodworking industry. Okay. Any questions on the LS703LH Blue, black oxide lifting mechanism, or any other Carlson product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.